Protein supplements for the dialysis patient. Kidney disease is a whole new world for the person who contracts it. Everything that you eat has to be changed and carefully monitored. Some stages of kidney disease require the patient to ingest less protein, but later stages will require more protein than average once the dialysis treatment has begun. Everyone needs to have protein, not just those with kidney disease. It is vital for life. You need the right amount of protein, no matter what the condition of your kidneys, in order to remain as healthy as possible and even slow the progression of the disease. Even if you are very ill, your weakened state leaves you more prone to infections, which the proper levels of protein can fight off. A lack of protein can be very detrimental. Your muscles are made of protein, which means that when your body is lacking protein sources from food, it will start to break down your muscles instead. This will cause your health to decline further, resulting in loss of energy, a slower recovery from injury, swelling, anemia, and changes in both blood pressure and heart rate. A series of lab tests are performed, both to determine kidney disease and to establish which stage you are in. One such test measures the amount of protein in your system. An albumin test is performed monthly and given a close look, since being low on albumin is a danger to health. It can cause extended hospital stays and an earlier death in patients who must undergo dialysis. About 3.6 milliliters per deciliter is considered to be a low level of albumin. If you have levels that low, you will most likely be instructed to take a protein supplement to ensure that you get enough protein in your day-to-day life. Your body, or anyone else's, does not store protein, so you need to supply it through diet. Protein comes in two types, complete and incomplete. Which type a certain protein is depends upon the amino acids that compose its structure. 9 of these amino acids are known as essential amino acids because the body cannot manufacture them on its own. They must be supplied by an outside source. Any animal-based protein will contain all 9 essential amino acids, while the large majority of plant-based proteins are incomplete because they lack at least one of the essential amino acids. Soy is a notable exception, being both a complete and plant-based source of protein. How much protein you need to have in your diet will vary greatly from person to person. You will have to consult your doctor and a nutritionist to determine your specific dietary needs, based on your stage of kidney disease, general health and general level of activity. Dialysis does not mean that your life is functionally over. Most dialysis patients lead an active life, with many of them holding full-time jobs and participating in whatever activities they love in their spare time. All of your protein does not have to come from food. There are always protein supplements available for when food sources are just not enough or when your diet does not permit certain food sources of protein. Today, there are many protein supplements that can be delicious and effective without costing a large amount of money. Protein supplements were once known for being thick and terrible tasting, so much so that many found them literally impossible to swallow. Thankfully, this is no longer the case. A dialysis patient will have a more difficult time finding the right protein supplement because of the restrictions on fluids and other nutrients, namely potassium and phosphorus. You can find protein supplement drinks that are specifically tailored for dialysis patients, which are low in potassium and phosphorus and low volume, so that they can fit easily into the level of fluids allowed. Protein supplements come in other forms too, of course. You will need to consult with your dietitian before making a final choice, however, just to make sure that it is appropriate for your particular needs. Protein powders are another form of protein supplement, and they come in 4 kinds: egg, rice, soy, and whey. Here are some things that you should know about protein powders. Protein powder mixed into a drink still counts against your fluid restriction, so it may be the only drink that you have for some time. There may be other restricted ingredients in the powder. If you have allergies, beware. Whey and soy in particular sometimes cause reactions. Rice, on the other hand, is hypoallergenic and should be safe for just about anyone. Protein powders do not always have to be used with liquids. Many of these powders can be mixed into food instead, such as pudding. Whatever the case, it is still important to consult a dietitian before trying anything new. Protein supplements come in many forms beyond powders, including protein bars, puddings and protein supplement shots. One of the latter is a form of liquid protein from Protica called ProfectR. ProfectR is distinctive because of its size and ease. It is less than 3 fluid ounces, but it contains 25 grams of protein in that tiny serving and no added fat or sugar. Not only that, but ProfectR also contains all of the vitamin C that you will need for the day and 10% of the B-complex vitamins. Since it is temperature stable, ProfectR can also be stored in the car or carried around all day long without having to store it in a refrigerator. Another source of protein to look into is the protein bar. These have to be scrutinized extra carefully, however, because some of them have ingredients that are best avoided by many people. Avoid protein bars that have added fat or sugar, especially if you are restricted in how much of either ingredient you may consume. Calorie count is not always a concern for kidney patients, but for many it is, so the ingredients of anything that is eaten must always be kept in mind. Avoiding complications by avoiding unhealthy foods is a relatively easy way to stay in optimum shape.